Welcome to your deep dive. We're diving into the Chiefs' victory over the Saints this week. Now, when you just glance at the score, 26-13, you'd think smooth sailing, right?
You'd think so, yeah. But I imagine that's why you've given us all this play-by-play data, huh? This game was anything but a walk in the park for Kansas City.
Yeah, it really does sound like there's a much bigger story here than the score suggests. So, give it to me straight. The Chiefs won, but how close did they come to actually losing this thing?
Well, at first glance, it seems like they were in control, right?
Sure.
Yardage, time of possession, all went the Chiefs' way. But then you start digging into those red zone trips, and it gets ugly. 5 trips inside the 20-yard line, and for most of the game, they only get 1 touchdown.
Oof, yeah, field goals aren't going to cut it against tougher teams.
Yeah.
I imagine watching those drives unfold in the play-by-play is like watching a train wreck in slow motion.
Oh, tell me about it. Especially when you get to that goal line interception by the Saints' Keelan Saunders.
Oh man, that's got to be demoralizing for the Chiefs.
Right. And to add insult to injury, what do the Saints do? They turn that turnover into 7 points. And suddenly, it's 16-13 late in the third quarter. 1-score game.
Wow, talk about a momentum swing. So, did that light a fire under the Chiefs? Or did they need a little more motivation to really get going?
So the Chiefs were really feeling the pressure there for a minute. What was it that allowed them to pull away in the end? Did the Saints defense just run out of steam, or did something finally click for Kansas City?
Well, the Saints defense definitely had their moments, but I think the Chiefs' ability to seal the deal really came down to some unexpected heroes stepping up. Take Kareem Hunt, for instance.
Oh yeah, with Isaiah Pacheco out, Hunt really stepped up in a big way. The updates mentioned something about Hunt having the top spot locked up, which is interesting, right? I mean, there was so much hype around Pacheco going into this season.
For sure. This definitely throws a wrench into any predictions about how the Chiefs' run game would play out. And, when you really dig into the play-by-play, you see just how different Hunt's running style was compared to Pacheco's.
Oh, how so? Well, Hunt was constantly fighting for those extra yards after contact. Yeah. That gritty, determined style. And there's this one play in the second quarter, 3rd and 5.
Okay, I think I'm seeing it here. Hunt takes the handoff, cuts back inside.
Right, and he just powers through 2 tackles, spins out of another one, and picks up the first down. It was impressive. Pacheco's more of a speed guy, right? But Hunt brought that power, that determination, and the Saints just couldn't seem to handle it.
So it wasn't just about filling a gap. It was about exploiting a tactical mismatch. Fascinating. But it wasn't all on the offense, was it? The Chiefs' defense had a pretty stellar game as well.
Absolutely. Holding any NFL team to just 112 total yards and a half, that's unheard of. And the Chiefs did it in the first half. They were all over the Saints right out of the gate.
Let's not forget Brian Cook's interception on that very first drive. I imagine that was a huge momentum shift right off the bat.
Oh, for sure. Talk about a drive killer. If Cook hadn't come up with that pick, who knows? Maybe the Saints build some early confidence. Maybe the game goes a completely different way. It's impossible to say for sure, but that interception was definitely a turning point.
It seems like this game was a perfect example of a team's success depending on more than just its star players.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's about depth. It's about seizing those crucial moments. It's about those plays that might not make the highlight reels, but can make or break a game.
And for the Chiefs to stay undefeated, they'll need those less heralded players to keep stepping up, especially with those red zone issues we talked about earlier. So this wasn't the easy win the score might suggest. What does this tell us about where the Chiefs go from here?
Yeah, who knew a 13-point win could be so stressful? So where do we go from here? What's the big takeaway from all of this?
Well, I think this game exposed a real vulnerability for the Chiefs. They can't just rely on outscoring everyone.
Especially with so many other undefeated teams in the league right now. Every game counts. Absolutely. And that's where having those role players step up becomes so crucial. Like we were talking about earlier, the Chiefs need Hunt to keep bringing that energy. And I need guys like Cook to keep making those big plays on defense.
It really goes to show, football might be a star-driven league, but it's still a team sport at its core.
Couldn't agree more. And I think you also got to give the coaching staff some credit here, too. They recognized how the Saints were playing them on defense, and they adjusted the game plan to give Hunt the opportunity to succeed.
So what we thought was a pretty cut-and-dry win turns out to be this whole story of, resilience, hidden weaknesses, unsung heroes.
Makes you think twice, huh? About how much we miss when we just focus on the final score or the highlight reel.
That's what these deep dives are all about, right?
Yeah.
Getting past the surface and finding the real story. And I always appreciate you being here to guide us through it.
Anytime. And hey, for all you listeners out there, here's something to think about. Can the Chiefs fix those red zone issues before they run into a team that knows how to really make them pay?
Oh, no, that's a good question, because if they don't, things could get very interesting very fast. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We'll catch you next time.